From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the Evening News Blast. Advocate is reporting earlier this month, the Trump administration announced plans to restore a specialized LGBTQ plus option for young people who use the National 988 Crisis Intervention Hotline. But the organization that created and helped manage Press 3, the Trevor Project, may now be shut out of the revived service, ABC News reported Friday. Press 3 was added to the intervention service in 2022 by the Trevor Project, which gave 988 callers the option to reach counselors specially trained to work with LGBTQ plus youth in crisis by entering the number 3. Users could also text PRIDE to access care or participate in online chats. During the 3 years the service was in operation, it fielded approximately 1.6 million contacts, about half of which were handled by the Trevor Project, according to data from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Despite its enormous success in helping save young LGBTQ plus lives, the Trump administration suddenly eliminated Press 3 from the 988 service in July of 2025, citing a lack of funding. The move drew much criticism from mental health experts, LGBTQ plus advocacy organizations, and lawmakers who noted that specialized crisis intervention can be life-saving for a population that faces disproportionately high rates of depression, suicidal ideation, and suicide attempts. The move to restore the service by the end of this year follows Congress directing officials to allocate $33 million towards LGBTQ plus specific crisis interventions for young people. While that may seem like welcome news, it comes with legal and political complications and drew deep skepticism from LGBTQ plus advocates. We are grateful to see preliminary indication that the 988 Lifeline's LGBTQ plus youth specialized services may be reinstated after the program was abruptly shuttered last July, said James Black, CEO of the Trevor Project, in a statement when the announcement was made earlier this month. However, we remain skeptical as the administration has now plainly said the Lifeline must ensure compliance with President Trump's January 2025 anti-transgender executive order. And now the situation has been complicated further by an eligibility requirement that could prevent the Trevor Project from being part of the life-saving service it created. Vibrant Emotional Health, a nonprofit that administers the 988 service, has called for applications to manage the restoration of Press 3 services. However, applications are limited to crisis centers that are current and active members of the 988 network. The Trevor Project is not currently active because the administration canceled the service it specialized in last year, making the organization ineligible. After this latest complication came to light, Black released another statement expressing the Trevor Project's concerns about the future of the vital service. The question of whether or not the Trevor Project can participate in a restored federal crisis lifeline for LGBTQ plus youth signals a much larger concern. The next iteration of the 988 Lifeline's LGBTQ plus youth specialized services, known as the Press 3 option, may exclude transgender and non-binary youth entirely. This troubling development indicates a dangerous step toward degrading the clinical standards to serve high-risk groups that the Press 3 specialized services were founded on. While anti-LGBTQ plus politics may be altering the very purpose of this lifeline created to help save young LGBTQ plus lives, it is critical to make clear that politics has no place in suicide prevention, regardless of what happens next. The Trevor Project's own 24/7 crisis counselors remain available to support any LGBTQ plus young person in crisis, just as they always have. Our team of experts is ready, able, and willing to support any individuals or institutions in providing LGBTQ plus young people with the comprehensive, current, and best practice care they deserve. If you or someone you know needs mental health resources and support, please call, text, or chat with the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, or visit 988lifeline.org for 24/7 access to free and confidential services. Trans Lifeline, designed for transgender or gender nonconforming people, can be reached at 877-565-8860. The Lifeline also provides resources to help with other crises, such as domestic violence situations. The Trevor Project Lifeline for LGBTQ plus youth ages 24 and younger can be reached at 866-488-7386. Users can also access chat services at thetrevorproject.org/help or text START to 678-678. That's the News Blast at this hour. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast right here on PEP Radio.